Well, hi guys, good morning and welcome to this Money Control live stream. You're watching Morning Trade with me, Nandita Khemka. Well, yesterday, after a pro-growth and fiscally prudent budget, we saw the markets not really react to it much, and we had a flat close. But nevertheless, 21,700, around that level is where we shut shop at. Today, of course, the GIFT Nifty is hinting at positive cues. Wall Street and Asia also throwing up, good cues. So, we have to see whether or not we manage to stage a comeback today or not. We will be snapping out of 2 days of losses, if we manage to open in the green today. But of course, lots of stuff to watch out for on the show. Lots of stocks to be, discussed with our experts. And of course, all your stock-related queries will also be taken up with our technical expert. So if you have any queries, keep them coming in on our live feed on YouTube, and we'll try and take them up. But before we move any further, let's take a look at the top headlines at this hour. Wall Street rebounds from last session's losses. Meta and Amazon surge on strong numbers, while Apple slides as China sales dip. The Nasdaq and the S&P 500 surge over 1% ahead of the release of the jobs data for January later today. Asian markets rebound on a strong handover from Wall Street, while the GIFT Nifty, as I mentioned, is also hinting at a higher start for the Indian market. Crude prices dip with Brent closing over 2% lower as the OPEC makes no changes to its production cuts. In fact, investors also continue to monitor developments in the Red Sea and negotiations over a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. Among key earnings to track today, Tata Motors, which has seen strong sales from its Jaguar Land Rover business, will report third quarter numbers. Also watch out for numbers from UPL and Interglobe Aviation. Well, let me then bring on board a technical expert for today without any delay, Raja Venkatraman, who is the co-founder at NeoTrader, joining in this morning. Thanks a lot for joining in, Raja. What is your sense? We've seen 2 days of losses. Yesterday, markets, were volatile, but, ended flat. Here on, given the fact that GIFT Nifty is looking positive and the fact that interim budget is out of the way, how is the setup looking like for today and the rest of the days next week?
Good morning, Nandita. So, first of all, thank you for inviting me. And the kind of cues which we expected from the domestic markets, it got reflected by the overseas markets. So there was positive cheer seen across the globe, and that is what is going to get reflected as we open the day. So as far as the budgets are concerned, nothing much was expected, and what they doled out was in line with the continuation of the policy which they have been framing over the last 10 years. So that has given a positive traction, and with not much of shocks which have been imparted. So I continue to believe that the positive traction which we have seen would continue. Yes, there are going to be dips. It doesn't mean that there is going to be a linear uptrend. But then what I envisage is that the uptrend is getting set for more rise ahead. So the next big event, if we have to consider for the market, is going to be in July, and before that in May. But then the May event seems to be discounted. But then one we have to consider is May and July are going to be two important turning points as far as the market is concerned. So for the days ahead, one should continue to retain on the positive side. Though on the street, everyone feels that yes, the markets have fraud a little bit. There is going to be correction. Even yesterday, many people were talking about lower levels to consider buying. So what I continue to believe is we have been discussing this fact even earlier as well, that do not sit on the sidelines. You will miss on the opportunity to make yourself some wealth. So I continue to believe that. And as far as the Nifty is concerned, the lower levels around 21,400 would be an important zone to watch out for. And on the Nifty, it will be 44,000. Bank Nifty, it will be 44,500. So until these two levels are taken out, we should continue to operate on the buying side. Now, Bank Nifty is already flashing a positive tide as the market opens today. But what I would like to see is the Bank Nifty shore up some courage. So what I would like the Bank Nifty to do is move up above 46,800 and hold there by the end of the day. Then it could see a very positive week for the coming week. So that's my take on the overall markets. I continue to believe on the bullish side and look at all possible opportunities to go long.
All right, look at all possible opportunities to go long. Hold that thought, Raja. We'll come back and discuss specific stocks as well. But let me also bring on board Hemang Jani. Hi, Hemang. Thanks a lot for taking out time and joining in. What did you make out of the budget? Of course, it's a pro-growth, fiscally prudent budget. Over populism, the government chose to dole out a pro-growth budget, right? So what, according to you, are the hits and misses?
Good morning, Nandita. Thanks for having me. Clearly, if you look at FM's statement, even before the vote on account presentation, it was very clearly highlighted that there won't be any spectacular announcements. And in that backdrop, from a market standpoint, what's very important is that the fiscal prudence was very much maintained, which means that the government is committed to long-term macroeconomic stability. There were few areas like housing, to some extent railways, and a little bit of infra, which were the highlight. The capex growth, to my mind, was a bit lower than what the market was expecting. But anyway, it's a vote on account. So I think as an event, no major negative surprises. Fiscal prudence was a major positive takeaway. Housing surely is one area which remains a focus for the government. And now that the event is out of the way, the focus of the market will be on the trajectory of the corporate earnings, the global backdrop, which continues to be good.
Right. If you look at the auto pack, yesterday, of course, Maruti was fairly buoyant, top nifty gainer. In fact, Tata Motors is also upbeat. Sales figures have been good, right? And today, Tata Motors reporting numbers. But, if you look at the budget announcements, the FAME subsidies that expire on the 31st of March have not been extended. So that has actually come as a dampener for the EV industry, so to say. Here on, how would you look at automakers? They have run up quite a bit, right? They have or in fact, they have reversed years of underperformance and have emerged as a rank outperformer, right, over the last year, if you see. So here on autos and particularly the EV theme, how would you play it?
So when it comes to auto, I think two-wheeler as a space continues to surprise everybody. If you look at the monthly numbers, there has been an element of surprise both by Hero Motors and Bajaj. I think EV as a theme is catching up, but I think it's yet to really make a big impact in terms of the overall numbers or the profitability per se. So I would, when it comes to auto pack, would go with some of the large names, be it Hero Motor, which is still at a discount to Bajaj or a TVS, and also to some extent Bajaj Auto, which is showing spectacular growth. If you see this monthly numbers, the growth was almost about 35%. There's a buyback. So I think these are the two names that I would go with when it comes to auto.
Those are the names to stick to when it comes to the auto pack. But before I let you go, I want to get in your thoughts on Paytm. Of course, RBI has come down heavily on Paytm. In fact, Jeffries has come out with an underperform call. Management has clarified that the payments business being key driver. In fact, it will continue to be a driver, but 20 to 30% kind of hit that the company will see will be on the payments business. But of course, there will be an additional 20% hit led by the impact on lending business because of course, concerns over reputation, right? Going forward, do you think whoever has exposure to Paytm, would you advise them to exit, or would you suggest that hold on for a few more quarters and see how things play out?
So at least in the intervening period, okay, the stock will remain under pressure because one doesn't really know how long will it take for the Paytm team to really, fill the gaps. And this time the compliance action has been too harsh for the company. Of course, because, there were previous two notices that were given and somehow the team did not, fix those issues. So I think there is a case for a big de-rating, and because the stock hit a lower circuit, many investors could not exit. So you will see that pressure for next couple of days. Maybe another 25-30% kind of a downside is what is very much likely. Once we see more color, more clarity on how the management has fixed those issues, that is when we should take a call on Paytm.
All right. Of course, Jeffries has also mentioned that profitability timelines may be extended. Remember the management was expecting to turn EBITDA positive in FY25. Perhaps that timeline would get extended. With that, Hemang, a short of time, but thanks a lot for taking out time and sharing your thoughts with us this morning.
Much.
Well, with that, let's go back to Raja. Raja, Titan, reported numbers yesterday. Operationally weak quarter. Margins have been a disappointment. But on the charts, how is it looking now?
Yeah, Titan, yes, as far as the consumption theme is concerned, the trend has not been very exciting. And Titan has gone through a rough patch, and the strong rise which we had seen over the last few days had got into a stalemate, and over the last almost 10 trading sessions, it had gone into a resistance zone. Apologize. So the reaction now is a good time to buy into Titan. I would look to buy at the current levels because I expect a revival from here because it has reached into some good support zones around 3600. So those who are looking to buy into Titan, this would be a good opportunity.
All right, a good opportunity when it comes to a Titan. But let's talk about Indus Towers. This stock, we have a query coming in on this stock from Satya CK. Of course, there was a block deal in the counter yesterday. KKR has exited the stake. But for people who want to really get into this stock, would you say this is the right time? Because we have seen the stock, see some bit of correction over the last 5 sessions. Should one utilize this to buy into it?
Yeah, the stock came with muted numbers, but then the kind of space which it is in. So I truly believe that this stock is going to move in the next few months. So if you're expecting to hold on for at least 6 months, you can see a target towards 350. But then it will really need some patience. So if you are of that kind, only then you should go into this stock because this stock will definitely test your patience. Yes, but the question of whether it's a good time to enter, the answer is yes.
Okay, I hope that answers your query, Satya. Good time to enter. But we have a query coming in on AU Small from Saurabh Gupta. Wants to know your thoughts on this particular stock. It was rather flat yesterday, but over the last 5 sessions, 13% has been shaved off. What is your take here?
See, like I mentioned at the start of today's session, banking has been one of the non-performers. And this year, I believe that the banks would continue to show some strength, and banking sector should definitely not be ignored. But then if you're going to look at the banking space, right, be it any sector, look at the leaders and some stocks which have been able to hold on rather than doing bottom fishing. This market is not for bottom fishing because you will only see strength growing more stronger. So if you want to participate in AU Bank, then it's an avoid from my side. Look for some other stronger banks like say Axis Bank or ICICI Bank. That would be better than going into AU Bank.
All right, that's the view. Look for another private sector bank vis-a-vis an AU Small. But Arvind Dhakar wants to know that post the interim budget, what happens to railway shares? The likes of IRFC, RVNL, IRCTC, they've all run up quite a bit. Venkat, how should we really go about it now?
Yeah, so even last year, post the budget, even ahead of it, we had a strong run up there. Then there was a cool off, right? So now, if you're going to enter afresh, then wait for the cool off. The results are also being released in the few days. So wait for the result and then act. First of all, if you're already holding the position, look to book some profit. If you're wanting to re-enter, look for a dip because a dip will occur, and then you will be able to take advantage before the main budget.
All right, that's the view. Wait for the results to come out, and if you have holdings, take some profits at the current juncture. But results today, of course, UPL will be coming out with its numbers. This is one stock that has been consistently, making lows, hitting fresh 52-week lows. So ahead of results, any positioning here, or you think it's an avoid right now?
Yeah, see, I have been advocating specialty chemicals as an avoid, but then what's happening is that this entire basket is soon going to get into an oversold zone in the next few trading sessions, and then what we would see is a rebound from lower levels, which would be a good opportunity to enter. And UPL definitely would be one of them because the stock is under some pressure right now. And if you are looking to initiate a long position, then it would be an avoid. But then if you are looking to engage in a short position, then you can still consider, because the bearish trends is going to continue for some time. But then what I feel is by end of the next 3 months, after 3 months, this sector is going to show a good revival from lower levels.
Right, that's the view on a UPL, but we got a query on HFCL from Vijay. He holds 5,380 shares at the rate of 101 rupees a piece. Like this stock over the last 1 month has been extremely buoyant, nearly 20% uptick coming in. But I think he is, just about making a marginal amount of profit. So should he stay invested? Wait for perhaps more up move to look at exiting or anything?
Yeah, the stock is set for more upside. I'm expecting a target of around 120. The momentum is also in play, so one should continue to hold on.
All right, continue to hold on. What are your thoughts on consumption stocks now? Now that the interim budget is out of the way. For consumption sector as such, there was some bit of disappointment. Allocation under Manrega wasn't all that great. 26,000 crore rupees, and aside of that, income tax wise as well, no changes, right? So going forward, the likes of Nestle, HUL, how do you see these stocks faring in the run up to the budget?
Yeah, see, the reactions are going to be mixed because the consumption theme has not really taken off, and the budget did not do any good to aid the momentum as well, upward momentum. So I would reckon that it would fairly be a range bound situation, because the main season where we could have seen some bump up in the FMCG space has passed on without giving it much upward bias. So I believe that this space would be a range bound situation. So this is another sector which is again going to get into a value buying proposition in 3 months from now. So I am looking for some suitable signals, but not at this point in time. I will share with you once those signals emerge.
All right. What about a Hoodco? This stock was up 20% yesterday. Would you advise, in fact, riding this momentum?
Considering the kind of impetus which it received from the budget, the infra stocks are going to see some good flip, especially the housing finance ones, and this stock will continue to propel higher. Yes, at higher levels you do get the vertigo, but then look for lower levels to buy into, and the suitable lower levels are only emerging around 180, 185. So those who want to freshly invest should consider a dip towards 180, 185, because at higher levels right now, the risk is much higher.
All right, the risk is much higher here, Hoodco. So that's the call then. Getting a query from Narayana, and he wants to know your thoughts on a Tata Steel. He holds 12,000 shares at the rate of 138. How should he go about this holding?
This particular stock has not really moved well. So what one should consider is, at this current juncture, one should book some profits and shift your bias to some other stock.
All right. Of course, SBI is slated to come out with its numbers tomorrow, right? So ahead of that, any strategy on this particular bank?
So yes, SBI is showing some positive traction, and some PSU banks are definitely once again looking up. So one can look to initiate longs at the current juncture, because the trend has finally emerged out of the shadows, and I believe that a target towards 670 is very much on the cards within the next 1 week to 10 days.
Right, rooftop solar had its moment under the sun, because there was a mention of that as well. Any stocks from this theme that's catching your attention, Raja?
See, there are many stocks which have shown quite a blip. But then SSW Solar is one particular stock which Paytm will really do well, because this stock shows good promise, and every dip is a buying opportunity here. And yesterday there was actually a dip. So look for a dip towards around the 540 to 550 region, and that would be a good place to buy into this stock.
All right, that's the view then. Just about a couple of more queries then. Raj Karnavad wants to know your thoughts on a garden reach. Off late may have lost some bit of steam, but here on, how are shipbuilding companies looking?
See, this stock is in a very strong sector, and it will continue to receive orders, and the momentum will move up. But again, this stock will demand some patience. Right now, it is facing headwinds at higher levels at its previous highs. So continue to hold on because a target towards 1300 is possible within the next 6 months.
All right, that's the view there. Hope that answers your query. But I think this will be the end of the query segment for today. But Raja, what are you spotting on the charts for our viewers today?
Yeah, the oil and gas space has been really promising over the last 3 to 4 months, and from that they've really recovered from lower levels. And from that, I believe that Hind Petro has shaken off its results, and it has come out very strongly. And I would like to advocate a buy in Hind Petro at 470 with a stop at 463 for a target towards 478, 485. And the other stock is from the pharma space. I would recommend a buy in Lupin at around 1525 with a stop at 1505 for a target towards 1548.
All right, Lupin and HPCL, two stock recommendations coming in from Raja. With that, Raja, thanks a lot for taking out time and joining in this morning and sharing your insights with us. Always a pleasure.
Right.
Well, with that, we've come to the end of this edition of Morning Trade. From me and the entire team, thanks a lot for tuning in. But of course, stay tuned because coming up next is Opening Bell.